get away with stuff. He should have stood up to China when it was easy, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. Yeah. He never did. And what happened? All your jobs, they went to China.
Trump says he gave the country away to China for 30 years.
To your earlier question,
To
your earlier question, KT, first of all, she's absolutely right. Secondly, the media has largely been able to say that this is a Russian disinformation campaign, despite the director of national intelligence saying it's not. Now, I know the New York Times knows more than everybody else, apparently. But here's the thing. The gentleman that just spoke is a former U.S. naval officer.
Yes.
So you are now impugning the integrity of this individual who has nothing to lose and can back it up with emails, texts, voicemails, etc. So the question is, how can you ignore the facts now? The media either shows that they are complicit in this or covers it.
And this guy is either telling the truth or lying, and it's up to Joe Biden. Now, as John said, there's some binary questions here. Joe Biden there's some fuzziness, but he has said, I did not know about my son's business dealings. This guy painted a much different portrait.
Absolutely. We're going to go now to Congressman Mike Burgess. Sir, thanks for joining us. Want to know your response to what we saw this evening from this Mr. Bobulinski, Tony Bobulinski.
Clearly, there are going to be some very difficult questions that could be posed to the former vice president. I would not expect the moderator to do so. Sean's exactly right. It will be up to the president. It can't be done as an attack on Hunter. It has to be a direct question to the former vice president, and he must be looked at to answer the question briefly and truthfully.
Sure. You know, you're a Republican congressman. People talk all the time, the president talks all the time about how China has just ate our lunch for the last 30 years in this country, how so many of our politicians have just given away so much of our wealth and our jobs to that country, and it's happened under the watch of people like Joe Biden. Does that point need to be strongly made?
Yeah, you know, I was in Washington just as a regular person up on a chamber trip in 1999, early 2000, when this whole question of permanent normal trade relations with China was discussed. The Teamsters Union was quite opposed. But you know what? I don't think enough questions were asked back then. And there are continuing questions that come up today. And certainly we see it in our committee where the supply chain has really been relegated to a foreign country that actually did not have our best interests at heart.
Absolutely. Congressman Mike Burgess, a great state of Texas. Good to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, actually, we'll give you one more question. Sorry about that. Congressman, stay with us just for 1 second. Wanted to ask you what you think about what you think the president should say tonight, how he should compose himself tonight.
Well, I do think the president needs to give a measured recitation of the facts about how he has dealt with the coronavirus. The media has had a field day with misinformation about the president. Look, this president has leaned into the problem. Operation Warp Speed is unlike anything I have ever seen. And I can think in the former administration, the previous administration, when they dealt with H1N1, when they dealt with Ebola, when they dealt with Zika, there was never the type of response, never the type of all-of-government response, and the wherewithal to get a vaccine done in less than a year's time. That's an incredible response that this administration has marshaled.
What do you think about this mute button? Everybody's talking about the mute button.
Well, actually, it's been used on me a couple of times in committee, so I'm sensitive to it.
Absolutely. Do you think this is a must-win for the president tonight? He's got to win this debate, right?
Yeah, well, the president's going to win re-election tonight is perhaps the first step in solidifying that. The race is going to be close. We all know that. The battleground states are going to be battlegrounds for a reason, but the president's going to prevail.
Congressman Burgess, thank you so much. Coming back out here to the panel, Sean, I want to ask you, how should the president compose himself tonight? What should be the demeanor from the president?
He's got to be calm. He's got to be focused. I think Congressman Burgess is right. He's got to, last time he had this great line, 47 months of accomplishment versus 47 years of doing nothing. That was a great line, and then it just kind of went bye-bye. Right? So he's got to back that up tonight. He's got to talk about the Abraham Accords and foreign policy, standing up to China, what he's done for the economy, what he's done for veterans and the military. He's got a record of accomplishments and policies that are moving the country forward. He should stay focused on it. The bottom line is Biden's